Yo, how you doing, boys? I'm sorry for not making any videos because I've been busy recently, but I have a serious video today that will answer a lot of questions, and I will show you how to get a very high skills in Dota buff to calibrate at 4K MMR, but today it will be as a support. Now, after seeing this, I came with one conclusion: that you honestly suck. I don't wanna hear, I keep losing because of my team, they are no bunky pinoy, fuck you. No, I don't wanna hear this kind of bullshit. If you wanna say that, probably you suck as much as they do. I calibrated 3 times, one of them was at 5K and twice was on 4K. And I never said I lost because of my team, because you know why? Because I give no shit. All what I need to do in pub games to calibrate is to get a very high skills and get a fucking 600 GPM at least in every game. I did explain how to get a high GPM and also how to calibrate at 4K, so check them out. Now let me explain a simple thing. Your team has nothing to do with the calibration. If you keep getting 2K or 3K, that means your skills is the reason. Don't blame your team because you suck. If you want to get a very high skills, it will take a while, and I will explain how. But remember, if your skills are low, it's impossible for you to get a 4K. Now usually when you create a new account and play with it, you will start with normal or high skills, it depends on how you play. And after a 30 or 50 game, you will get an average of your skills, like a very high skills or even normal skills.
Just get the shrine, guys.
Now getting a very high skills depend on your role, and I will start with the support. And yes, you can get a very high skills as a support and start from 4K. Now don't say, that's my role and I pull, that's me as a support, fuck you. No, it doesn't work like that, bro, because being 220 with 100,000 wards doesn't make you a good support. It makes you a noob who buy wards to justify his feeding streak and say, hey, I'm doing my job, go fuck yourself. We lost because 0 gank, noob carry. Oh my god, my team, fuck you. I'm only support life, thug life. If you think like that, just stick with me, man. I will explain why the support is the one who's doing everything. Now, just to be clear with you, the support is the key of winning the game. I will tell you why. Because he would gank mid after he secured the safe lane farm for his carry and not staying like behind the carry like a dipshit doing nothing or just pulling the lane. That's really just a stupid support. He will just try to harass the offlaner, zone him out, try to make the creep equilibrium more right for his carry so he can control his lane. And what is more better, he can shit on any carry in early game, because support basically they will just create space for his carry, and even in the mid game or late game they will just protect him, like with Vengeful Spirit Swap or even Disruption with Shadow Demon, or you can name so many skills that can save the carry and can make him win the game. So basically the support isn't about only buying wards and dying 100 times, it's about counter ganking, smoke and other stuff that I will mention in this guide, so we can at least gain a 4K MMR for you guys. Now I play all roles, but usually I'm first position or mid, but I know a lot about supporting because I play in 7K average or 6K average and I'm the lowest MMR. I usually play support and I learn a lot from pro players, like what should I do and stuff like that. Now being a support means you need to have a checklist that you need to do. The first one is to deward the safe lane, because usually the offlaner plays a ward in these places to have vision on the support rotation to avoid dying. After that, don't stay AFK like a fucking shithead. Go interrupt the offlaner block so you don't fuck the creep equilibrium for your carry so he can successfully control his lane. Now go to your checklist again and let's see what we have else. Be a cancer. Alright boys, now this is our specialty. We need to be an assholes and harass the offlaner, and when I say harass, it doesn't mean only right click, okay? It depends on what hero you are playing. If I'm playing Disruptor, I will right click him down and use my spells as well, because I have big ass range, and to do that you just need to come from behind and make sure to not trigger the range creep aggro. because if you do, the range will follow you and hit you, and after that the creep wave will follow your ass. So basically you need to learn when the creep wave are gonna come and when the creep wave usually are responding. So that's something really important because you don't want to just run and harass the enemy offlaner while the next creep wave are just coming. I see that a lot, and I'm trying to teach my friend how to not do that, but he keeps doing that. But the main thing is to learn how or when the next creep wave are gonna respawn and when the next creep wave are gonna come, usually to the lane. So after you know that, you need to make sure that you do not trigger the range creep aggro, because if you do, you will just ruin the lane for your friend or for your carry in general. So please, if you are playing next time as a support, you want to harass that enemy offlaner, just come from behind, okay? And try to always check the creep wave, because if the creep wave is pushing so hard and you are just staying next to the range creep, then the range creep will just hit the next thing that is close to him. Like if you are close, he will just hit you even though you're not touching it, because the creep aggro is really, or the range creep aggro is really big. And by doing that, you will just give the offlaner free XP, and you know, he will just basically win the lane, because getting XP as an offlaner is a win. Now let's imagine we have this scenario. You are playing against a very tough dual lane, okay? And it's really hard to get kills or contest the farm. So if you cannot zone out the offlaner, you need to give them less XP. But how? By simply pulling the lane and make them under level. And when I say pulling the lane, it doesn't mean a single pull, because after you do that, the offlaner will get 2 range creep because you only did a single pull. So probably your range creep won't die, so you need to stack and pull so you can have much XP and much farm, because you do not want to steal XP from your carry, which will make him under level, and it will be because of you. So remember, stealing XP from your safe lane is stupid. That's why you need to do pulls whenever the lane is pushed. Unless you carry when I get early tower, that would be really amazing. So you need to have more communication with your carry. Now usually when I get level 2, I ask my other support if there's any to smoke with me mid and try to get a kill on their mid laner. If you get a kill, check if they have a jungler. So if they do, just go and bug his ass. If they don't, after your first gank, I recommend you to stay around your mid lane to gank him as soon as he comes to the lane, so he get tilted, and if that happens, in most cases his support will rotate, and if he didn't, just keep roaming around this area. Now Dota is more like a strategy game. You need to study your next move and be more like Puppy. Now look at the minimap. If your safe lane is having a good farm or equal farm with the enemy offlaner, you need to make your move around this area between mid lane and safe lane or jungle. You need to invade this area by placing aggressive ward and getting kills or assists, because if you do that, you will put a lot of pressure on this side of the map. So basically you will just win the early game. So you need to tell your teammate what to do, but before you do that, you need to study your move. Don't be like push while the enemy have ravage and shit, and you don't even have ages, and the game is even when it comes to farm and levels. So you need to study your position, what your teammate have and what the enemy have. Now after you invade their jungle, you need to understand spamming wards will make you poor. So don't get more than 2 wards if you are winning. And if you are losing, yes, you need to turn yourself to a 5th position, poor support, and just place wards. And if you want to buy some items, I recommend you to go for cheap items that will make you survive, like a hood or even less than that. Now when it comes to items, you need to ask yourself some questions like, do they have a lockdown? Yes, they do. Then you must get a Glimmer Cave, 4 staff, Lotus Orb, something like that to help your teammate. Do they have a physical damage? Yes, get Mechanism or boost your teammate to get some armor like Vlad's or even Medallion. Even you can get Crimson God to help them to block some physical damage. Do they have magic damage? Yes, then get a fucking pipe, not Mechanism, you idiot. Do you have minus armor to do Roshan? No, then buy a Medallion. You wanna siege high ground? Yes, use Lotus Orb, Crimson God, Lincoln Sphere, pipe or Medallion on your carry while you're on sieging. You don't have lockdown? Yes, make Hex or even Yield Scepter. Your enemy have minus armor? Yes, then make Vlad to boost your teammate armor. Also solo Chris would be really amazing. You don't have an initiator? Yes, make Blink Dagger. Do you die so fast? Yes, then make a fucking Yield Scepter, 4 staff, Glimmer Cape, Yield Scepter, anything like that. Or even you can tank yourself with some items. You can't stop their TPs? That's simple, man. Just buy a Yield Scepter or even Hex if you are so rich. You wanna tank up? Make Urn in early game, that would be really amazing. You are behind in game and you think that you can go late game? Yes, YOLO, go Midas, man. When should I buy Gem or when should I not? You buy Gem in mid game to late game, okay? If you have a good heroes like Batrider, stuff like that, and the support can carry it, that's okay, but only if you have escape item. If you do not have escape item, do not fucking hold the gem, because if you die, since you are squishy and usually they focus the support the first one, you will just give them a free gem. And if your teammate have a Slug or even Bounty Hunter, Riki, or even that bug, I forgot the name. Weaver, yeah, Weaver. So if you have one of these heroes that really relies on invisibility that much, you will just lose the game, man, because you bought gem and you can't even hold it. You can buy gem and give it to other people, but you holding it and you don't have any escape mechanism, just that would be really a horrible idea. That's how you buy items. It's not necessary to get a fucking blink dagger as the first item online while you have an initiator. You can just get a full staff or even a glimmering cape, that will really help. So always try to have utility items as a support so you can rush to help your core or initiate or even to save your ass. And you always can get a core item like Aghanim, Etherlens, but that depends on the type of the support that you are playing. Like Ags online is kinda stupid unless they have heroes that can create illusion, or you have a good combo like Darkseer into Enigma's Black Hole or Axe or even Magnus, something like that, and Aghanim will really come in handy. Now, since I explained how to get items and how to play an early game, you need to keep checking your checklist. Especially when it comes to dewarding, you need to expect where they have wards and come up with new places to ward, so your wards doesn't get dewarded. And this video will really help you a lot. Now when it comes to deward or warding, it's pretty simple. Always ward the place where you intend to push. Like if I want to push mid lane, I will place a ward on the high ground or even behind the tower so I can see their rotations. And if I want to push the tier 2, I will simply place a ward around these places. But first, usually I place a sentry, because if they have a ward and they spot me warding it, they will just deward it. So if I place a sentry, I will deward it, but I won't place a ward in the same place, because if they see me doing that, or they will actually assume that I will place a ward there, they will just bring a sentry and they will immediately deward it. So usually I place a ward near to it, a ward that will give you vision, the same kind of vision, and it won't be dewarded. So if you want to push, always place a ward before you push so you can have vision on the enemy team, and always try to place a ward around the stairs or the entries so you have a vision on the enemy. Now when it comes to deward, it depends on your situation. If you are winning, the enemy will place a defensive ward, so it's more like a big area that will decrease every time you take towers or every time the enemy take towers. So if you are winning, the enemy will place a ward around the entries like where I'm showing you. These are the most common and non-common wards. If you are losing, the enemy most likely will place a ward around Roshan pair to see if you want to contest getting Roshan or not, and these places as well to see if you are rotating to your jungle and farming it or even leaving your base. Now let's talk about your position as a support. Now you have two positions and you might wonder why. Early to mid game and late game. Early to mid game, now in early game you will usually initiate with a stun, but first you need to understand, if you stun and walk toward the enemy and right click him down and walk then right click, you will do more than 3 hits, because you are closing the gap between you and the enemy, because usually they turn and run to their tower. So when you do that, you will have the chance to do more right clicks, which is something important that most people forgot to do. Also, you need to not stack stuns with your teammate, because using 2 stuns in the same time is just stupid. Now in early game, you can right click the enemy after you stun, because they have low HP or even mid-range HP. But in late game, right clicking the enemy is just stupid, and I will explain why later. Now after I explained basic stuff, you need to check the enemy inventory, because they might have a TP, and when you apply 2 stuns on the enemy, he will just TP. So try to keep one if the enemy is pro, or at least with a 5k MMR and above that. Because when I play offlane and the enemy use all the stuns, I will simply TP, and if they don't even have stuns, I will simply TP to my tower or to even to the shrine so I can regen up and come back to the lane. Now in mid to late game, your position is the key to win the game, because let's say I'm playing line, okay, and my damage is 70 or something like that. My damage won't matter that much because the enemy is not squishy. If the enemy is squishy, I will right click him down if he's sniper or something like that. But if the enemy is tanky late game, I can't right click him down. So if I want to try to play support, I will just use my stuns. Like I'm playing line, I will use my Hex, my Spike, my fucking Finger. then I will just go back with a Glimmer Cape or something like that and try to mana drain him. It depends on my position. Sometimes I don't mana drain him right away because the enemies counter initiate me, and if they see me mana drain him, they will just counter gank me or just counter and kill me. So you position is the key. Try next time to position yourself behind your carry. If you are initiator, you just try to initiate, then you can go back, so you can use other spells later when they come off the cooldown. So your position is very important in the late game. So always after you use these spells, try to stay in the fog and try to help your team with full staff, Glimmer Cape, or whatever your item you have. So imagine yourself like you are playing Slaughter and you are only using Sprint, Blink Dagger, Crush, then you can use Amplify damage and get back. Slaughter doesn't right click that much unless he have really good items. But that's how you play support. So I hope you understand how to play support in ranked matches or even normal matches. Now in this part I will answer most of the questions that I saw in my previous video, how to calibrate at 4K or how to get a high GPM and XPM. And I'm sorry guys for not answering most of your questions or not checking Dota buff links, because it's really hard to keep up with like 500 comments or something like that. I'm not sure with the number, but I kinda checked all of them. I didn't check the links, but I saw most of the comments. That's why I'm gonna answer now. The first question from DJ Skillex, something like that. Anyway, does normal match affect your calibration even if you are not level 20 yet? Because level 20 you can do calibration. Now the answer to that question is pretty simple, because Valve will only count your MMR from your normal matches, how you do in your normal matches. Even if you didn't play normal matches, or even if you didn't play ranked matches, they will still count from your normal matches. So take care man and play normal matches and do your best. The next question from Joshua. Best thing to pick, a hard thick carry, blah 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 blah. Just support is trash. True C7. No, picking hard carry is not the answer, to be honest, because if you pick hard carry every game, you might not get any kills. And when you want to calibrate, they will only care about your GPM, XPM and your KDA. If you get a high KDA and you didn't even farm that much, you will get a lot of gold, which will affect your GPM and your XPM, man. So if you get good heroes with good mobility, like Queen of Pain or something like that, or even Invoker, he's a really good mobility hero that can get kills even if he's AFK farming mid with Sunstrike, if you're of course playing Exalt. So playing heroes that have really good mobility and from early game to mid game, and they can skill better or they can skill well at the very late game, that would be really amazing. But picking hero that will only farm is absolutely not the answer for getting a high MMR. The next question from Chandra Chase. In this GPM and XPM, is Alchemist is a good choice? No, he's not, man, because his third skill will increase his GPM and XPM. You may think that it's good, right? But Valve made this hero to get more GPM and XPM, and the calibration of you getting a very high skills with this hero is not gonna be high as you think, because it will be just normal. If you get 800 or 900 GPM and XPM with Alchemist, Valve will count it as 600, or even the best, if you get 1000 they will count it as 750, something like that. So Alchemist is not the answer. The next question is, play in C, dude, your tips are useless. Man, I played in C7 a couple of times and it's not that bad, to be honest, and as I said, your team has nothing to do with it. Don't complain about your goddamn team, man. If you are not getting a pick off as your own, if you are playing off laner, mid lane, or even as a support, if you don't know how to get pick off, if you don't know how to get assist or even try to get kills and try to less die in every game, you probably should not get a 4K. The next question from Sohan. I like your name, by the way. I still get unknown skills. Is that a good sign or not? Well, it depends. If you get 5 or 6 unknown skills, after it you will get very high skills, because they still don't know your bracket yet and they still calibrate it. And after you get unknown skills, then they will get another unknown skills. They will try to place you with a high MMR or higher teammate average MMR, in fact. So if you are getting very high skills, that would be amazing. If you get less than that, it's fine, you still can get higher. So try to play until you get level 20, and after that you can drop your link with Dota buff and I will check it. The last question from Navindu Mishra. I hope I read your name correctly. I read your story and I will just make it short. If you have 1k account and you cannot win, it's probably hard for you to win in 3k bracket. So I will recommend you to get better first at the game, and then you can create another account and collaborate with that account, because getting 2k MMR to start with 3k or something like that, or to actually reach 3k or 4k, you need maybe 120 win, like one streak at least, or at least just win 120 game, and you will get 3k MMR, another 2k I mean, or 3k MMR or 4k MMR, or whatever MMR you are trying to reach. But I recommend you to play more in your rank and try more heroes, how they work. You can try another skills, you can even try on 1k bracket. It will actually work. If you want to try new things, you will see like 7k or 8k MMR, they are playing Smurf to try new things, like they will try some skill build on 5k bracket, because the different, like 2k or 3k bracket, the difference is pretty huge. So they can actually win so easily with even bad builds, but if they play in their rank, it's really gonna be hard. So I recommend you to stick with your account and play for a while, get better at the game, then try to make a new account and try to get 3k or at least 4k, and I hope you will get it, man. Finally, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section and I will answer them in my next video. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, because that will help a lot. And thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video.